Yeah. What's good, everybody? Welcome to another episode of 8 for the Hour. I'm your host, DJ Eight4. I'm chilling here right now with my lovely co-host, Miss Rachel Bradford.
Hey.
And I got two special guests in the building. One being my brother, and not how black people use it, brother. This is my real brother right here from the same mother. Jay Blue in the building. Make some noise. Yeah. And also I got my nephew in the building. Javon, say what's up.
What's up?
Make some noise for him. Let's go. Yeah, man. So basically, I brought you guys here today because I wanted to chop it up with y'all a bit. And Javon being in youth sports and you being a sports parent to him, and us being the same with MJ and our son. So I noticed, there's a lot of different things that come along with being a sports parent, and as in like politics and money, and and not money like people are like paying coaches or nothing, but I mean money like it gets expensive.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
so,
the money you spend for tournaments and trips and uniforms, that gets kind of hefty with the prices. And with the pandemic, like I know a plus for us with the pandemic, we saved a lot of money. We saved a lot of money. Make some noise for that. I was noticing, like, man, we ain't got no uniforms to pay for, no gym fees, no traveling. I was like, there is a plus side. Yeah. There was kind of a plus side to it.
Sure.
It kind of sucks that they don't get to play. They're not out there doing what they love to do and what we love to see them do. But at the same time, man, we saving that cash at the end of the day. So that was real nice. Is there anything that a plus side to it with the pandemic that you noticed? Because I noticed with us, it was the cash flow that was heavy, and we're like, man, this ain't so bad because we actually saving cash. Are you, Javon? Was there anything that did you enjoy the break? Anything positive about the pandemic that you got out of it, or
not
one
really?
Of y'all? No.
I just kind of like miss doing basketball and stuff.
Yeah. He misses it. That makes sense, bro. When you out there, that makes sense.
I think you hit it on the head with the financial.
The financial side.
Everything. But,
the financial side, yeah.
Like for me, what's terrible though is it's his 6th grade year, his first year, and that's what. Since he was born, I was like, I can't wait for him to see him play middle school basketball. Yeah. But right now he's missing out on that whole year, but we'll make up for it.
Yeah. I forgot he was in. Yeah,
his first 6th grade year.
Were you excited though, huh? You was ready to.
Yeah.
Middle school.
I was ready for the middle school.
Middle school ball is a little bit different. Like
it is.
And it's dope because, well, if you got the right, I know when we were coming up, middle school ball wasn't like it was now. Like when we were playing, I feel they found the random teacher that didn't have nothing to do to go coach, and you teach history and you got time, I'll coach the boy. It wasn't like you found an actual coach who has credentials and who's played and been D1. It was like, well, I'm not doing nothing after school, so I mean, I'll take it on. I remember
extra money.
Because I remember even Thomas. Shout out to Thomas. That's my brother-in-law. I remember going to one of his middle school games, and I seen his coach, and I'm like, this nigga don't look like no coach. And he was telling me that he was the drama teacher.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And you could tell, even the way he came to the game. He was still dressed like he just got out of class. Like he was, like he looked like
playing the part of a coach.
Yeah, like he was preparing for a role. Like this is my time to see what I've got if I can pass for a coach. And he was not a coach, man. And that's what sucked about, at least when we were coming up in our middle school days of playing. Like we didn't really have no one to teach us the game. And you guys have that. There's AAU. There's different circuits now that y'all can go and y'all can travel and y'all got somewhat legit coaches now to help you guys actually learn how to play basketball. Even though a lot of kids still don't know how to play basketball, you know what I'm saying? But I was just touching on that because I remember how the coaches used to be. And
Thomas's coach actually made them have practice without a basketball. They had to imagine it.
They had the bangerang. They had the bangerang. They basketball. Said, just imagine it, Peter.
Young cats don't get that reference.
For the young cats, y'all gotta watch Hook. Watch Hook, and y'all will know what I'm talking about bangerang. You know, using your imagination or whatnot. Do you know what I'm talking about, Javon? No. He said, "Nah."
The movie like twice
Dang,
already.
you gotta watch Hook, bro. Hook is the thing.
I watched it.
He saw it.
You seen it? And you
Wasn't
still
really
don't know?
paying attention.
You don't pay attention to the classics, Mike. I told you.
The classics, bro. Come on, man. Anyway, yeah. So, you know, with all that being said, New Mexico sports is different. You know what I mean? And it's not that it's different in a good way to me, personally. Because I feel like we're so behind in the sports, and if anyone knows, like New Mexico sports, man, we're kind of cool with being, and this is my opinion, we're kind of cool with being mediocre, and just, you know, not living up to that expectation of being great at what. We got a lot of talent out here. We got a lot of talented athletes out here, but no one would ever know, for the simple fact, I don't think we push our athletes out there enough. And if we do, I think the routes we take, the routes that we give them, maybe the wrong routes. I don't know what it is, or we just ain't got that spotlight yet. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to know your opinion on the politics around like youth sports. Like, what is your intake on that?
And wait, I do want to say, for you, when you said we have a lot of talent, we do have a lot of talent. And some of it, I think, is being taken or granted the permission of claiming that talent. I just want to say, like, Marcus is out there in Arizona.
Yeah, shout out to Marcus, man. Marcus Wilson.
He's just eating other states up. It's the work ethic. I think it's, you know, the families, of course, puts in that work ethic, but it's the no quit drive. I feel like he's like whoever type of thing.
Yeah.
And I think the politics that we're gonna get into is, I often think, like, did Marcus have to go out of state because of politics? Because at the end of the day, you know, some coaches don't want to see you win, but also two different politics. We have I said the football politics and the basketball politics are completely different, but I know Javon plays basketball, so we could start with the basketball politics for sure.
Yeah, like I mean, I agree. Like you said, I think, and that's not only a problem with sports here. I think New Mexico or Albuquerque, whatever you want to say, it's how can I be the man and leave everybody else? I want to be the one that brings the city up, rather than let's all get together and win and bring the city up or get that dub, or, you know, everybody wants to be the glory, the golden child, so to speak, and make it happen for the city. But it's like, you can't do that if nobody's going to pay attention to us for one person. You know what I'm saying? If now we start creating these super athletes, and like Marcus is out there doing this thing, and we get another person out there, and they're like, where are these kids coming from?
The next year,
Albuquerque,
different ages.
New Mexico. And then it starts, we need to do some recruiting out in New Mexico and see what's going on. That's just my intake of it. But, you know, I just want to know, you know, your point of view on the whole thing. And because I know there's a difference between the football community and basketball community, like she mentioned. So I just wanted your intake on that.
My thing is, like you said, when the kids that are coming up today want to be the man. Yeah. And everybody can't be Jordan. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. We got to start teaching these kids that it's all right to be that role player guy and to be the best at that. And help your team win sometimes. Sometimes you can have a team of role players, and they, like that Detroit Pistons team back in the day, defense like crazy. Yeah. And look at that Laker team they beat. You know what I mean? It's like they were just a bunch of role players that were best at their job and did what they had to do, and they'll win the championship. We got to trickle that down to the youth today and be like, do your job the way you're supposed to. Football, basketball, whatever sport you play, you know? No. until we can push that message, I think that the youth is just going to be stuck, especially in New Mexico, stuck at where we're at.
Yeah,
now.
Like you said, it's kind of like know your role right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Know your role.
Know what you're good at, and
that's where
and develop that, and then later on, like say, I'm gonna use Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin came out of college dunking like crazy. He was a slashing guy in the paint.
Yeah.
Now look at him shooting threes, and he had to change his game slightly. And I think if he'd done that a little bit early in his career, you know, he would have been a little bit better off. But he waited too late to say, well, let me try to pull out and take that jumper. Today's big men, I mean, I'm a bit archaic when it comes to stuff like that. I like to see old school big men dominate the paint.
Yeah,
but
I'm
an
OG like that too.
I like to, what's new?
Yeah.
Okay, you got to dominate the paint, but come out a little bit, work on your jump shot. And if you can do that, just work on your game constantly, I think the youth sports will start to develop better here.
Yeah,
but they're so focused on just one thing. They're focused on, you know, tunnel vision, on one idea of what I got to be. I got to shoot a three like Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Well, what can you D somebody up?
Yeah.
You know, and that's the main thing with me: defense, free throws, rebounds.
Yeah,
win the game,
I think that's what a lot of kids are missing, and I think, like you said, because the game today, all they see is Curry pulling from half court, and it excites them. It's like, oh, because everybody goes crazy, you know.
It's
so
entertaining.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's very entertaining, but at the same time, Curry had to play defense to get there. Curry had to do other things to get where he's at today. Curry wasn't
pass the ball.
Too, he you know what I'm saying? He wasn't coming up in high school pulling from half court and all the coaches was like, I need that on my team just because he's gunning from there. Like he's an undersized guard. Therefore, he had to learn different things, different ways in the game to do what he's doing now. You know what I'm saying? There's other skills that are overlooked from Curry and all the undersized guards in the league because they took the time out to develop the skills that they needed to do what they do now. You know what I mean?
He started out as a big college, right? He started out
like Davidson.
Yeah.
Then, so I mean, even just not getting that look right after high school, some people are just gonna be like, oh, maybe this isn't my game. But he developed a new game.
Yeah,
like you said, they didn't recruit him to a bigger one just to be like, oh, he just shoots threes. No, they watched him play defense.
Yeah, there's a lot more. There's a lot more to the game, and I think that's what's lacking a little bit in the youth now. Because I see everybody wants to be a shooter, But do you think it's the coach's job, or whose job is it? Do you think to get this kid like, okay, that's nice that you can shoot a couple threes, but this is what I want out of you. This is the game. This is basketball. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever sport you play. This is the fundamentals. Who's laying that foundation?
I think it starts with the coach.
Uh-huh.
I still think the parents have something to do with it.
Yeah.
It depends on the age of the athlete.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, the athlete, he has to take in what he's being taught and use that on the court, field, whatever, And but back to the political view of it.
Yeah.
When we were talking about Steph Curry, he went to Davidson and stuff. A little school like Davidson, I feel like he put it on the map. But anybody else that didn't have ties to the NBA or their parents have ties to the NBA, I don't think they might have a harder time making it.
Oh,
Davidson
man, that's a good point.
But
I never thought about that.
It's not what you know, it's who you know.
Definitely, you're right, and that's part of the politics. And I see that. What's sad is I see that now today in youth sports, and that's kind of like, wow, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like,
before we get into that, I think is there something your dad or a coach ever told you that you resonated with you being a team player instead of like always shooting the three? Or
like, it's just, I feel like everybody should get a chance to like shoot the ball, like as long as they're doing it right. Because so like if somebody told me like just stop passing, but like if somebody's open, I'm gonna pass to them still or whatever.
Yeah. Make the better basketball play. Yeah, and I know that's something that your dad instill. I see it. Certain kids, and I'm not just saying that because you're my nephew. Certain kids, just get it. Like, it clicks for them.
Like just pass up the good shot for the great shot.
Yeah. You want good or great? You know what I'm saying? You want championships or you want to go undefeated and lose the championship? You know what I'm saying? It's like,
I think that's part of us taking them to the park and being like, not here, because we force them to make the better pass, even when they're little. I'm talking about when we play.
No easy buckets.
Yeah, no easy buckets.
Yeah.
Did that help you ever develop your game, like just playing outside with your family?
Yeah, because like if I wasn't playing against my dad, like how he's like good at defense, so I had to like become better at dribbling and learn stuff that he taught me, like the in and out or like just stuff like that.
Yeah. No, and I think parents gotta not rely on coaches so much. There's only a certain amount of things that a coach is gonna do for your kid, especially I feel if their kid is an athlete too. And like me, I'm big on getting MJ out there and making sure he's ready to play at whatever level he's gonna play at. Then I use the coaches. I don't use them, but I'm saying they'll season them. You know, maybe I missed something. Maybe I don't know everything, and I admit that. But for the simple fact, his foundation is set because of what I had him doing before he ever stepped foot out on the field or on the court. He was already like, okay, I get it. You know what I'm saying? And then I think that some kids don't get that foundation set, and a parent is just kind of like, go let them teach you everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Javon, he had a couple teammates like that. I ain't gonna name drop, you know now.
Yeah.
He had a couple teammates like that. They couldn't dribble worth nothing, you know, stuff like that. And I still went in his ear and said, even though he can't do nothing, it's your job to make him better.
You
know
what exactly. I mean? You know make some noise for that. Gotta make some noise for that.
So you see this kid wide open, you see him wide open, hit him.
Yeah.
And majority of the time, Javon would hit him wide open. Guess what? Kids just standing there making shots.
Yeah.
He don't have to dribble.
And
he don't got to do nothing. He just got to play his role, catch and shoot.
That's a point guard's job, is to make his team better. Yes. Everyone around him better. And I feel I had the same situation with MJ. There was a couple kids that the other kids didn't want to pass him the ball, you know. Yeah. And when MJ got it, he's that type. Better basketball play. Let's make the play. He was finding kids that never touched the ball and they would score. And I noticed the coaches took note of that, and he got a lot more playing time than a lot of rest of the kids that were on the court. I feel like if a coach knows, if you're dealing with somebody who knows the game, they're going to take to, okay, you know, this kid knows what he's doing, and we can work with that. Yeah. And I feel like a lot of parents might have a problem with that, you know, because their kids aren't at a certain level, but they want them to be. They want them to be, but when their kids aren't there, they're kind of forcing them to do something outside that they haven't been working on. I don't knock kids talent, but I do feel if you want your kid to be that star point guard or that star player, you got to get him out there and work with him. Yeah. You can't just throw him out there and be like, well, he's just as good, so go do what you do that too. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like I see that a lot.
My son's out here working.
Exactly.
He puts in the work to go out there and play more minutes than somebody that just wants to go and play a game and don't know how to do it. You know what I mean? And at the end of this is just my opinion. This is who you know me. I'm very competitive.
Exactly.
To me, there's no fun in losing.
I agree.
I can go out there and have some memories of, oh yeah, we had a good time. But at the end of the day, if I'm not winning, it's like it was pointless to me. Mm-hmm. So I try to teach him, like, go out there and have fun, whatever, blah blah blah. Because if he doesn't win, I feel like I failed him, and how can I make him better?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for people to go out there, or parents to go out there and say, well, I want my kid to go out there and don't work with him. Well, you're holding the rest of the team back.
Yeah.
That are out there putting in the work.
Exactly.
I know you want your kid to have fun and everything, but work.
Put in work. Yeah, that's all I say is.
I don't care what age you are, whatever, who you are. When you go out there and you're trying to play a sport or any game, and you lose, it's less fun.
Yeah.
And especially when you're not even able to go out there and help your team win, like you're stuck on the bench because your team wants to win. Go out there, work with them. That way, you can get more minutes and then participate in everything. And then everybody have more fun, win or lose that way.
Yeah.
But to be like, oh, well, I want him to just go out there. Well, the rest of the team wants to win.
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly. That and that was one of the roughest things for me personally, was when MJ got into sports, and especially basketball. From tournament, people got to understand there's a difference between the tournament ball and the just regular youth recreational ball. Yeah. Like tournament, your kid doesn't really have to play. Like he doesn't have to play. There's no rules that says, at least in New Mexico or whatever, you don't have to play the kid. You know, I know in football in Yaffle, everybody's got to play a certain amount of minutes. You know, and that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with that. But basketball, okay, if you're in a league where it says, okay, every kid has to get at least 3 minutes or whatever the case may be, then you're in that league. I feel like that's where you should stay for now until you can either handle your kid not playing or he's ready to up the minutes. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of parents, they jump in the tournament life, and as soon as like their kid is on the bench, they want to complain. They want to be like, well, why isn't he in? Blah, 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 blah. Okay, well, we're in a game situation where we're, like you said, we're actually trying to win. You know, not to knock your kid. I'm not knocking no kids, but I'm saying if you want to play at a certain level, like anything in life, if you want to do something at a certain level, you got to put the work in, man. You got to do that. And that's what really frustrates me with a lot of parents sometimes, because I'm like, they see MJ do his thing and they're like, oh, man, okay, well, man, you're just as good as y'all the same age. If he can do it, you can do it. But then they don't see the work that he puts in every single day of the week. He's out there doing that same move. He's out there putting the shots. He's out there. We got, we're going to different training. We're putting in the work for him to play at that level. And then you get a kid who wants to play just for fun and just, he wants to try it out. You're not gonna.
You can't get upset when he don't get
exactly. And I see a bunch of that all the time. You know what I'm saying? So
that's the parents. They just don't get it.
Yeah.
And I do get, as a parent, you do want to see.
You do want to see your kid shine. I get it.
You got to put in that work with your
exactly.
kid.
You do want to see. Like I told Rachel, if MJ don't play baseball, but if MJ wanted to play baseball, I feel it's my job. Let's get you at least knowing the game. Let's get you catching. Let's get you, the basic fundamentals, and don't expect to go out there and be the the go-to guy, the star of the team, or not. Don't put none of that in your head. Learn the game, and whatever you want to learn, let's just grow on that.
We told him that in going into track. We said this is conditioning for football. That's what the mindset we went in going as, like, get better for football. But then MJ's like, y'all, he's very competitive.
Yeah.
He lost that first one, and he was out there just every day running. So at that point, as a parent, I couldn't be like, you're still just doing it for fun because he's putting in the work. So now I have to be in addition to that work. Like, okay, you want to go here? Let's go here and work. And then the expectation starts to becoming winning. But MJ never had the expectation that I would just come in and win.
No, we definitely got him in the track just to be faster for football. That was like the thing. But then when he's so competitive, he was like, if I'm gonna do it, I want to win. You know what I'm saying? And that's great, yeah. And that's the way it should be. So that was a proud moment for me. And what did we do? We gave him the work.
I wish everybody had that mentality.
It's rare, but we can still it. It's a Bradford thing, man. I think we're naturally competitive. I'm competitive with everything I do. You know what I'm saying? I know you are too. Good. I see it on Javon. He's very competitive. But speaking of the work, what do you think is too much work? You know what I'm saying? Is there a limit, especially being a youth athlete? You know what I'm saying, right. Javon? Is there a certain limit where you're like, okay, this is too much, like training or whatever?
Yeah, like after a while, but like if I'm told to like do something for like basketball or something, I'm gonna like do it. If somebody tells me go out there and just do like 50 push-ups or something, I'm gonna go do 50 push-ups or whatever they tell me to do.
Yeah, that's because you got love for what you do, and the passion overrides. Okay.
Is there a time you don't want to go to practice, and is it because you're truly tired, or you're just over it for that day? Is there like, times you have to?
Some days it's just like some days it's just you don't want to like, cause like you'll just wake up tired, you'll go to school tired, and just everything. Yeah. But like you still have to do it though, like even if you don't want to.
I like that. What did we say that is now, Mike?
What's that?
Not motivation, but you say it all the time now. Routine over motivation.
Oh yeah, no. Discipline.
Discipline over motivation. Yeah.
So
sometimes you're not motivated.
Shout out to Carrie. I got that from a good friend, Carrie. She's a personal trainer over at SAC. Shout out to SAC. They really helped MJ develop his fundamentals in basketball too. But Carrie had made a post, and it said something about, if you're not motivated, at least be disciplined.
Yeah.
So, man, I've been using that ever since. And there's days I don't feel like doing something, and I'm like, well, I'm not feeling it, but let me at least be disciplined enough to just go get it done.
Yeah.
Get it done. And it's been helping me, man. I'd be like, damn, I'm actually done with that. That's actually, whatever. So that's a good little lesson or a little saying to know, man. If you ain't motivated, at least be disciplined about it.
Yeah, that's what's up.
And then do you think there's a limit to the work you give him or what you put him through?
I do. When I start seeing him, if there's injuries, like start to happen, like just out of the blue, I try to use I go back to the NBA when they started that load management stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And star players were getting overwhelmed or whatever with working too hard and playing all those overtime games, whatever.
Yeah.
Playoff games, they started giving them days off. So sometimes if I see him fatigued or if he's looking like he's just not into it, I might say let's take a day off.
Yeah, definitely.
Do something else. But practice, I don't think you should miss practice. Workouts are different. Workouts, I believe that it could cause an injury. Practice, you at least go to see what plays are being ran that day. Something.
Yeah.
You can at least show up.
You can learn something.
Yeah. You tell coach whoever, I ain't feeling it right now, but can I just watch them? I bet you they appreciate that. Me as a coach, if I was a coach, I would appreciate at least you showed up. Go ahead and take this day off. Yeah.
Definitely. No, I agree with that. I think that's important to recover. And that's I think that's something that we miss. Everyone misses that because you see everybody. Yeah, you see everybody like, no days off. No, you see that. It's a saying. They gotta understand. You want to say no days off, but in reality, you need them days off, man. Your body has to fully recover for you to give 100, 110 or whatever you're giving the next few days or the next competition you have. You got to have that recovery. A lot of people want to take no days off, and that's how injuries happen. Like you said, you'll get injured if you don't take those rest days. But with me, it's at least we do maybe like 5 days out of the week. We go hard with whatever he needs to do, practice, workouts, whatever. Then we take those 2 days and we recover off them 2 days, and that'll be like stretching and all that good stuff. And then we're right back at it Monday through Friday, whatever it is. And then we just keep cycling that. And that's the way we do it with MJ. But I mean, like Javon had mentioned, the passion for it, because I know a lot of people look at us like, man, that's a lot. Like y'all have him do a lot.
You have him do too much.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm like, this dude.
Especially your Nemo.
Yeah. Shout out to Miles, man. Miles is always on my back about, that's a lot for him and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I mean, if I know my son, if I see him, like you said, getting fatigued and, yeah, of course we're going to take those days off, but this dude's passion overrides everything. He's ready to go. He's good to go. Dad, do I have practice today? Dad, do I have this today? And it's just like we're constantly like, yeah, let's go. Let's do it. So his passion overrides anything. Like that.
Over this pandemic, though, like Javon, he'll do his push-ups, his setups, and all that at home. But since this happened, most of the time it's been like film session. We'll watch a game, and I'm pointing this out to him. I'll stop and rewind it. Hey, look what happened here. This is why he went here. And he gets that. Yeah. As long as he's like me, a visual guy.
Yeah,
if I can see it, and the game starts to slow down. You know
Definitely.
What I mean?
I agree.
So that's what I've been doing with him most of the time.
And that's what you should do. Take advantage. Somebody somewhere, if you didn't take advantage of this pandemic in any way like that, man, it's just not in you. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the way to do it. Like, you can't be out there running and playing the game that you love. So you gotta. There's a mental side to it. There's, like you said, there's a visual side to it. You're taking the time out to actually learn the game, learn what you need to do. The physical comes with it, but a lot of people forget about that mental side, like about it. Yeah. Shout out to that. That's good work, man. Yeah.
I think that actually happened. It was more of a visual thing for MJ, because like we always tell him, watch the clock, and you don't have to rush everything. If you're winning, slow down the clock. And Michael always told him that. I don't think he ever seen it really get put into play a lot until you pointed it out on the screen, or he's seen it at the Lobos, like, oh, they're literally drawing back kind of thing. And that's what he did in that tournament. So even just watching the game could just set such a big thing.
Yeah, that's why pro athletes, they watch film. You know, if they were good, if they were content about where they were, oh, I'm in the NFL, I'm in the NBA, I know the game. Like, why do I need to watch this? You know what I'm saying? Like, I know what I'm doing. They wouldn't be where they're at. There wouldn't be little LeBrons and Jordans. There wouldn't be that. So you gotta continue to, like I tell MJ, and that's sometimes I gotta let him know, because he's like, oh, Curry's not doing this. I never see Curry working out. I'm like, Curry's working out.
Oh, he's working out.
He's working out.
That's why you
LeBron's
don't
working
see him,
out
because he out there working out.
Exactly. LeBron's working out. You know, they're doing their workouts to stay at a certain level. You know, now LeBron is considered the best player on the planet. Considered that. Not my opinion, but you know, he's considered the best player on the planet. Now, you think him hearing that, him with his championships and everything, he could easily get content and be like, what more do I have to do? Like, I'm good. I don't really have, but nah. They said that after they won the championship, LeBron was back in the gym getting ready for and it shows.
I'm a year older than that dude, and I could.
It shows. And that's what I try to tell MJ. I was like, you really think this dude is going home, sitting, chilling, like, we just want to, nah, he's back to work. He's doing what he needs to do to stay at that certain level. You know what I mean? So a lot of kids, they gotta know, like, there's work to be put in, and you gotta put in the work if you want to play at that level, man. And that's to the parents too. If you want your kids to play at a certain level, instill the work in them, man. Instill the work in them.
They're not
even
always
if it
gonna
ain't
want
sports.
Yeah.
Even if, like, I remember he told me he want to be a chef. I was like, what? Let's go
work.
You gotta put in the work.
Yeah. Make some noise for that. That's dope.
It's like, whatever you do in life, you gotta be disciplined enough, and their parents, in my opinion, gotta pave the way for them the kids to do it.
Definitely.
No
like I told, that's the same thing I told MJ. What do you want to do? Whatever you're gonna want to do in life, I'm gonna help you be the best in that.
And
you know what I'm
that's
saying?
when sometimes he says no, and you have to, and he doesn't want to go to practice. MJ don't always want to work out. I mean, majority of the time he does, because we tell him, you have to do these steps to be this, and it's his idea. But there's days where we already planned this, and he's like, nah, I'm not gonna, I'm tired. I want to stay in and play the game. And Michael has to remind him, do you want to do that, or do you, when you go to your track meet, you expect not to win?
I'm keeping it real with him. I'm like, bro, okay, you take all this time off, and you lose. You can't complain. You can't complain. You can't be like, oh, why did I lose? And I want to hear the whining. I don't want to hear none of that. You lost because you didn't put in the work that you needed to do. Now, if he gives it everything he's got into his practices and his training, and he goes out and he doesn't win, I'm fine with that, because usually if you do the work, it's gonna show. There's no way you're gonna do the work and just get totally blown out of what you're doing and just, I didn't place, or we didn't win it. No, it's gonna show. We're gonna get third. Now I know what I have to work on to take that first place next time. You know what I'm saying?
He's taken plenty of terrible losses.
MJ,
as many wins as MJ's taken, he's taken plenty of losses. And honestly, his greatest lessons were from them losses. He's went out of town and got his butt whooped. He's been on the opposite end of it. So, is there anything you learned from a loss, Javon, that you were like, I'm gonna change that? I'm gonna change that part of my game.
Like, one thing I learned was, like, when you say, like, I did all I could do, it's like, well, it wasn't, like, good enough. It doesn't matter. Like, if you lost by 1 and you scored, like, 54 points, well, if you scored 56, you would have won. And it's like, just...
You feel like there's never all you can do? Yeah.
You always could have done more.
Yeah.
I feel you on that.
Man, that's deep.
I think that's like competitive. That's your competitive mentality, right? Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with saying, man, what can I do? But sometimes, man, if it's all you just got to chalk it as a loss. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you really give it all you got on the floor or the field, whatever you're doing as a youth athlete, like, to me, all these tournaments and stuff at your guys' age is practice. You know what I'm saying? An experience. So when and that's what brings me to the parents. Like, you got to understand. I see parents go off, about games and what their kids don't do and do whatever the case is. But at the end of the day, are they learning? You know what I'm saying? Are you learning? Like you said, it was more I had to do or what I could have done. Okay, maybe next time I'll do this. Or I'll try this. Or I'll pass more. Or I'll shoot more. Take more shots. You know what I'm saying? So you got to learn, as you go. And it's all practice, bro. And that brings me to another question. Do you think some coaches can think W instead of education? Like, instead of teaching them something, do you think winning is more important? Have you seen that?
Yeah, I've seen it. Do I have a problem with it? No.
Okay.
At this young level, maybe.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. At this youth level. Yeah.
I have a problem with that, but to a certain extent.
Okay.
Because this brings me to who is the athlete?
Yeah.
How his parents are. Are they out there working with him or not? If so, then I don't really have a problem with that kid taking all the minutes from somebody that's not being educated on the bench.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
As it gets older, like high school, college, or whatever, I don't really see a problem. They should be. I feel like they should be already educated at that level enough with the sport.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Carry on.
It's different when you're older at a different level. But I'm saying like at Javon's youth level, MJ's youth level, like I see a lot of coaches who rather get that W. Like I seen a coach bench his own son. I seen a coach pull a son,
his
older son to beat our third grade team. MJ was in third grade, and
but
he pulled
used his third grade son to even out the age.
No, MJ was in third grade. He pulled his fourth grade son down to beat their third grade team. But like that's how much important.
I'll feel flattered that you got to pull somebody older on me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just think
I would like the challenge. Like, okay.
No, we don't shy away from the competition at all. Like MJ took it to him regardless. Our team still beat him. But I'm saying, do you think that that's a problem at this level? Like, me personally, I don't like a coach who's gonna go through all that trouble to get a W at this level.
At a youth
like
level,
this is
that's petty on his end.
Yeah, it's like man, like come on now, get your team. You're so. To me, it's showing you're not a good coach. You rather be like, what's the easy route? Oh, let me get old boy in here and get him in here and knowing he's a year older and put him into this third grade tournament. It's like you rather do that than coach your team up to being a great third grade team. It's like a little cheat code in my opinion, a little shortcut.
And I would have been mad as a parent. I would have if you sat MJ down or you brought MJ in to win Mason's game. That's not gonna happen. Mason's too young. Teach Mason to take his loss and learn.
Yeah, you gotta take. That's why that goes.
Big brother come bail him out.
That goes back to what I was saying. Use this time as your youth. Like this is practice to me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's nice to win. Don't get me wrong. We wanna win, and MJ wants to win. But when he don't, I'm like, take it as a lesson learned, and what can we do to get better? And it's not stressful to me. Like you lose, but as long as you gave it your all, you know what I mean? As long as you did what you needed to do out there. And I think a lot of coaches rather get that dub to where they're like, I'm going to do it by any means. Like a youth championship is more important to them than getting their kids ready for the next level. I think they're gonna only hurt themselves, and they're gonna mess up these kids in the long run. It's just like New Mexico with ball. You take the biggest kid, you put him in the middle. He's a center. Mm-hmm. That's it. You're not taking the time out to give him dribbling drills and speed work. Nah, post up in the middle. You're big. Turn around, shoot it, boom, boom. As soon as they get in them other upper levels, they go to middle school. And okay, we got Mr. Big right here. He's big. You go guard. They got no guard skills because they've been big all their life. So now it's like, well, I didn't learn this. All I had to do when I was little was turn around and shoot. I was the biggest kid.
Yeah.
Now, but your guard height. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. The winning is more important than taking this kid and pulling him to the side like, nah, I need you to do these dribble drills too. And eventually you're going to be a guard. And shout out to SAC for that because they always made sure everyone knew eventually, hey, everyone here is guards. I don't care if you're 6'5", you're guard. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to learn the guard skills, and you're going to learn how to dribble, and you're going to do that. So,
And speaking of Sac, when when MJ got older, a lot of all boys teams and all boys coaches approached us and like, oh, MJ should play for us. MJ should play for us. But then at the end of the day, it was more important for Bree to coach MJ than win, because Bree taught MJ the game as a whole.
She's a great coach. Right. Shout out to Bree. Yeah, I gotta shout her out. Shout out to Bree.
Coach Rose taught MJ to dribble only in your left hand on the left side. Your left hand layups are with your left hand.
And a lot of kids can't do that. And I've noticed that.
We went to boys practices and that if we seen, that was one of our things. Like, if we seen you run a practice and you let someone do a layup with the right hand or dribble on the left side with the right hand,
it was a turnoff.
We didn't.
It was a turnoff for me. I didn't want you as a coach. I didn't want you coaching my son, because you don't.
You can tell who deserves to be a coach or should be telling your kids what to do.
Yeah, By the way and does that come into play with you? Like, would you walk away from a team if you like, if it wasn't suitable, like you didn't like the coach, maybe like what he was doing, what he was teaching? Like, is that something you look for? Is that a red flag? Or are you like,
it's definitely a red flag.
But would it take you to pull him out, or would you be like, you know what to do? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I tell them that. If I see something right now, I don't like to go in there and be like, well, coach said this, well, I'm saying this. I don't like to be that guy. Mm-hmm. But I will go in there and tell Javon, well, look for this. I know he said this, but look for it. If it's there, do it.
Yeah.
Majority of the time, he looks for it, kid's wide open. Or something happens, or, I'm wide open for it. Yeah. Certain situations, I hear certain coaches say, oh, do this and that. And I'm looking at the time, looking at the clock, they're up. Well, why rush it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stuff like that, I could tell some people shouldn't be in his ear.
In that
so
position.
I will put them to the side, say, hey, Javon, look at the time, take in the situation, and then do what your coach says. But just consider what the situation is right now. Is you don't have to rush it. Just calm down. You get double teamed, do what he says, kick it out, whatever. But it is a red flag. Did I take him out? No.
Okay.
I didn't take him out just because I didn't want to. I want him to gain the experience and all that stuff. He is, in my opinion, on his team, not the other three, but on his specific team.
Yeah.
I think he's the either one or two option.
Definitely. I seen Javon play, and like I said, not because he's my nephew. This dude knows the game. Like, you can tell he sees it.
I'm not trying to knock the other kids, but the one or two options should, in my opinion, need to be the one and two option. Everybody else needs to go down there and play.
And that's what I'm saying. Is that coach? Is that a parent, or is that?
It's a parent.
Does that play into who who's getting the ball, who's having a dad as a coach? Does that come into play with you? And you're like, you know what I'm saying?
It could. I mean, I don't know what he tells his son. I don't. I just know what I tell mine, and I'm just trying to tell him. Like you said, there's politics in this mug.
Definitely.
That's just do you the best you can do. We know how you work. Get your teammates involved and play basketball.
Yeah.
And then I had coaches coming up to me on the other teams saying, we don't know what's with Javon, or we don't know this and that. And I'm like, well, first of all, he's not a guy that's going to go out there and give you 40 points. He's going to get his team involved.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay,
definitely.
So with that said, I thought about it just now, and the other problem is, well, look what you guys surround him with too.
Oh yeah.
So
that matters.
You know what I mean? Like you guys give them all this people that can't even dribble.
Yeah.
And you guys want, he can't
it's a lot of pressure. It's
My
a lot.
son's good. Don't get me wrong. He's good, but
but look at some of the greats. AI, Tracy McGrady. These niggas don't have rings.
Yeah.
But they're great players. Like they are some of the greatest players we've seen play coming up, and it's like they don't have rings because the people that was surrounded. Look at LeBron. What did he have to do? Travel to get one? Not. I know I got some LeBron fans out there, but real is real. The truth is truth. He had to go get it. He had to go travel to get it. But he couldn't do it with the people he was surrounded with.
He came back though.
He did. No, I'm not knocking him. I'm just saying, reality is he had to go get it.
Yeah.
The people he had around him in Cleveland, they weren't getting it. Right or wrong. So that's my point. You can't put all, especially at this level, youth level, put all the pressure and be like, I don't know what's wrong with him. He's not doing. Well, look at who he, like you said, who he got.
And that came to coaching, like I told you. How do you get in a basketball rhythm when everyone's chasing the ball? MJ don't know how to play ball like that.
that's a pet peeve of mine.
Yeah, the fundamental.
Ball chasing or
ball chasing? Yeah, you got the ball on one side of the court.
Yeah, everybody's on that. Yeah, I see that a lot.
I know you were like, MJ got better dribble moves, and I understood that, but I'm like, it's hard to get in a rhythm when everyone chases you into a corner.
It is.
And his foundation, Bree taught, move off the ball.
Yeah,
so he expects certain things to happen, and when it doesn't happen in that flow, I think they're like, whoa, MJ knows how to dribble out of that. What's he doing? But I'm like, he also is expecting people to know where to go.
Yeah,
that's why I said when there's expectations, that's when a vocal leader comes into play.
Yes.
If I expect you to be there, you better be there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Tell you to pull them to the side. Say, there's nothing wrong with that. Hey, man, I thought you're going to be, next time be there, you'll be wide open. You want some points? Talk to them. You want some points? Go do that.
Yeah.
You know? And that's what I'm trying to tell them. I think the lack of communication on their team.
Yeah.
There'll be times when they'll get screened and no one's called switch or stay. They just both run with the guy to go over the screen and go with him, and dude's wide open for a layup.
Well, is that a coach thing? Is the coaches telling them, or the kids just ain't listening?
I think it's a coach thing that's probably not seeing it, and on top of that, the kids aren't being vocal enough to call it out. You know what I mean? Javon knows. I tell him, if he can shoot, go over. If he can't, go under.
Easy
if
work.
you get stuck on the screen, call switch and tell your teammate. I hear him switch, and the guy doesn't switch. And
but
and that's you got to point that out.
Is that frustrating for you? Because if your dad's putting you on this game and your IQ is a little bit more up than others, it is making it hard for you on the court, or what is your intake on that? Like, what do you?
Yeah, just because like he said, it's like if I expect you to like go over there or switch the screen, I'm gonna like stay back and get your guy. But if we both go on your guy, he's gonna go and get an easy layup.
And are you vocal with your teammates? Are you telling them like, hey, I need you to do this, that? Or are you just kind of like, that's the coach's job, I'm letting him coach, or what are you?
I need to be more vocal, but I'm like really.
Well, see, now that's what I'm saying. You know what? At your age, it's good that you know what you need to work on, and you got time to work on that, and that's a plus. But now is the time to do it. You know what I mean? Like, don't wait too late to be like, oh, I'm in high school, I got to be more vocal. Do it now, and it'll just come natural. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I mean, I've been doing this since I was 12, 13 years old. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what, and I think that was another thing that at least me, I don't know, I differed from a lot of parents, because I remember when MJ was 5, whatever, and they'd be like, they're too young for that. I'll be teaching them something, and I hear, well, they don't really need to learn that. They're too young for that.
So I ain't trying
you know,
to hear
and
that.
I'm not that kind of parent. I'm like, you got 2 legs, you can walk, you can run, your arms move.
You understand?
You can do the movements.
I comprehend the verbiage that I'm using.
Exactly.
You can
and all it is breaking down. Your terminology might change with dealing with kids, but they can do it. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what put him at another level when he played with kids his age. It was like, man, how's he doing that already? You know, because every other parent's mentality was, oh, no, they're too young for that. We're just gonna stick with our regular basic fundamentals. And MJ was like, well, I'm gonna work on going behind the back, or I'm gonna work on going between the legs, or I think that's.
He added those Fenton fundamentals.
Yeah, you know, shout out to the boy Jamal too, man. He helped out a lot with MJ and his ball handling skills and all that. But back to coaching, dad's coaching. Do you find it difficult in a game to be like, well, my dad said this, but my coach is saying this? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but like, it depends, because like sometimes you could be like, well, I know who's right. Like, like he said, if we're up by a lot, run the clock out. You know?
Yeah.
Don't try to like just get more points or something, or like just.
But have you ever been in a situation where like, I did what dad did and got pulled out of a game by a coach? Or do you feel no?
No.
So okay. Now I just wanted to know, because you know that I know when MJ, I can tell him something, you know, but I'm like you know, yeah, your coach is saying this, but also you want to look for this. Or what really makes you mad when a coach ain't mentioning what's going on.
That happens a lot.
And we're losing because of this one little thing that this coach should see, and they don't see it. Yeah. That's what really drives me crazy. So that's when I'll pull MJ and I'll be like, look, I hate to be that dad, but I'm like, yo, you need to do this, that, and the third. and he'll go do it, and things will change. And I'm like, all right, you know. But
I remember when they was running a 2-3 zone, man, and the only one who knew how to run it was Javon and the other guy, the number 1 or 2.
Yeah.
The other guard, I should say. The big guys didn't know how to run it, so they were leaving the paint wide open.
Okay.
I'm like, go back to man because if they can't run a 2-3,
exactly.
And then it's like, you say 2-3 and the kids, what is a 2-3? Like, I don't,
yeah,
you
see,
know?
yeah,
and it's stuff like that, and it'd be the kid. And I saw them trying to run things, a certain zone defenses or full court press, whatever, that the kid wasn't at the practice for to learn.
But they were still running.
They were still running it with that kid in there instead of pulling that kid out and saying, "Well, who was at practice to run it right?"
Yeah,
that was a little upsetting.
And do you think that's more, to me, that sounds like more like politicking, like, you know, parents, coaches who know the parents a little bit better might be like,
it was a couple parents that complained that their kids wasn't getting
that playing time.
It was that,
and it's usually the kids that ain't really doing no extra work, or they're not doing. Yeah, exactly that.
Like, how do you not, like I said, how do you not show up to practice? I get the working out, whatever, but practice is team oriented.
Definitely got to be there
to get the full court press and the 2-3 zones down. That way everybody knows where to be. For a kid not to show up, like, what, twice? Twice, play the game, show up next week once, play the game, and then you guys are trying to run these sets, plays and stuff, and he's lost.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, you got to have common sense to pull that kid and say, hey, you ain't at practice, you don't play.
You got to sit down, and that's the difference. I remember when we were coming up, bro. If you missed practice, you didn't play. You didn't play. You didn't suit up. You might suit up, but you ain't playing. You know what I'm saying? And I think, I just don't know about this generation as far as being as more, I don't know what the word I would use, hardcore. Like, I feel like everybody's like a little bit more sensitive.
Oh, definitely, man.
This coming generation. And back when we were playing, man, it's like I said, if you weren't there, you don't play. Yeah. If you don't know the plays, you can't run point. You know what I'm saying? It was like they taught us real life situations at an early age. Like, oh, you don't know it. Such and such knows it. He's gonna run point today.
That's the way it works.
And it lights a fire under you. Like, oh, okay, I'm gonna learn this, and I'm gonna take his spot. And that's why I tell MJ, because me and my brother-in-law, we coach his youth team, and we always tell him, don't matter if I'm your dad, don't matter if this is your uncle, you're gonna have to earn this spot.
Yeah,
earn the running back position. You know what I'm saying? He can tell me till he blue in his face he want to be running back, quarterback, whatever. If he ain't producing and he ain't doing what he needs to do, go you're second back. You're not first back. You know what I'm saying? We're going to make the right decisions for us to get that dub and win.
Yeah.
If he wasn't doing what he needed to do, then you're not getting that position. And he knows that. He works hard because he knows uncle, dad or not, do what you need to do to earn the spot.
Like John said, that's real life. And that's what sports should be teaching them also.
Yeah, sports is just an imitation of life.
Exactly. Yes. And it for the bigger picture of life. You know what I'm saying? That's what anything. You don't play sports for the rest of your life. You get a job, your boss is going to expect certain things out of you.
You don't put your resume just against the 25-year-olds from New Mexico resume. No, your resume goes against everyone that put in a resume. Age difference. And that's another reason we went to Jamal, is because Jamal if MJ lined up with the 6th grader, MJ went one-on-one with the 6th grader.
And that's what it was. Take your lumps.
If MJ lined up with a 2nd grader, he felt good because, he knew he was better than the 2nd grader. But it was never, Jamal never said, MJ only lines up with this person. It was always, it goes back to what you said. You have 2 legs, you have 2 hands. You're going to do what everyone is doing.
Do something.
Do it. Now, you might do it slower than the older kids, or you might do it as not as clean, but you're going to do it until you get clean, until you get quicker. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I think a lot of parents hold their kids back with that. They're too young. They're too young. I never
too young.
Exactly.
The earlier the better.
Exactly. You instill good habits into them. You know what I mean? So that's
work ethic for the real world.
Mm-hmm.
Competition for the real world.
Yeah, no matter what you want to do, the better.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You agree, huh? Yeah. So with the pandemic, bro, and there's still practices and all that. Like, what's your take on that? I know you really, my bro is really, for those of y'all that don't know, my bro is really strict on this COVID stuff. Like masked up. He ain't masked up right now, but we had to take precautions and stuff. So he's really serious about it. So I need to know, like, with the whole practices and tournaments going on.
I see his team out there doing their thing. You know, I'm like, he'll be back once all this is over. Right now, nah.
But when do you think that's gonna be?
It's gonna be a minute.
So you willing
to work on them? And everything, you know, I'm doing like that.
Yeah.
But my baby ain't going out. No.
No.
He said, nah, make some. He said, hell nah.
Like, even working the pandemic, I was shocked to learn, like, we were talking to the team, and they never stopped at all. They said maybe 1 week they stopped.
Yeah,
and into my mind, I was like, God, that's really fresh. Like, we didn't know anything about this virus, like how it attacks. Of course, now we know more research, you know, attacks DNAs differently. We have a little more shots, immunization as a herd. So like now I could see getting back into it, but when I heard that they didn't even take a week off, I was like, wow, what a risk. That's a
crazy.
Huge risk, because we still at the end of the day had a child become paralyzed on a ventilator.
Yeah, like some people never stop.
I think that's the stories that people don't hear. You know, they just hear, oh, it's a pandemic. Well, it's not happening to me, but they don't hear those type of stories.
Yeah, man.
And I told Michael, kids did really well through this pandemic. Like, immune-wise, you know, some got it and they did really good. Some kids scarred their lungs 10% or more.
Yeah, I don't want to take that chance on my kids.
And one kid, you know, did have the ventilator thing. And I do think, like, we're getting antibodies now and we could start easing into it, but I was blown away to find out they took 1 week off and, like, didn't know anything about it at all.
That's crazy.
Yeah, no, I agree, but it's just it's tough, man. It's tough because when that's all you do, and it gets taken away, it's like that itch is gonna come to be like, bro.
Or the second pandemic of suicides and
how do you feel? You know, you're the one actually out there playing, and I know you miss it, but you know, do you think if your dad didn't lay the ground rules for you, would you be out there practicing and playing right now?
Well, yeah, but like I have to say safe at the same time, because like I miss it and all, like from basketball to talking to like my friends or interaction with people or just stuff like that.
Yeah.
It just sucks.
Yeah, no, it's tough, man. I can imagine, you know what I'm saying? Like, even us as spectator parents, you know, you miss that. You miss that. You know what I'm saying? You're like, like, man, just seeing your kid do what he do, seeing everybody cheering, seeing, you know, all that, the crowd, you miss all that at some point.
You do miss it, but I am with John, and like early in the stages, you were supposed to value life.
Yeah, definitely.
We didn't know enough not to value life. So
definitely. I don't know about not ever stopping and
right. He said 1 week.
Seeing what's good with it, you know, especially with all the deaths. In you know what I'm saying? You basketball's nice, sports are nice, but if you ain't here to play them, you know what I'm saying? What good is that?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You said you died doing what you love, but shit, like
ain't winning or losing.
Yeah, it said, especially at this age, bro. This age is like y'all got plenty of time for basketball.
Yeah, it ain't worth it.
You know, but it is what it is. I mean, I don't mind if they take certain precautions. You know, if they're doing what they need to do. I'm with it. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. I'll go to a training session. I'll go to that if things are right. But if you're just out there with no mask and no precautions are being taken, then I'm not going to that. You know what I'm saying? But I will, me personally, I will show up to something that I feel like people got on masks. I've seen them sanitize the benches, and I've seen them do and they're only letting a certain amount of people in.
Right, but
like,
you
I'll rock
also
with that.
have antibodies now, and you also know, like, we have a little more herd immunity. Like, it's not just as bad as it was right in the beginning when people really just didn't stop at all.
Like I said, I don't know about not stopping and not taking a second to be like, okay, what is this? It could be something. You know what I mean?
If you're easing into it now, like you said, just take the precautions, ease into it. That's fine. But in the beginning, that was crazy.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, that's pretty much what I wanted to touch base with y'all on, man, in the politics of youth sports already. That's, to me, it's kind of sad, you know what I'm saying, for you guys having to deal with that, you know what I'm saying, at an early age. But there's politics and everything, you know what I mean? It's who you know. It's not really what you know, like you said. And it's like, oh, well, my dad's the coach, so I get to do this and I get to do what I want and I get to play when I want, even though I'm not showing up to practice or I'm not doing that. You know, it's all a game of politics. I just want to get somebody else's input about, you know, what you, especially you, what you go through, your experience of, you know, do you see that? Do you see, like, do you feel like kids get special treatment or something because of daddy's the coach, or
or
you
like,
know,
because like some people, they're just like, or they're friends with like the dads or coach or whatever.
I heard of that too.
Yeah, so like take away your spot just because
because they know him. Yeah. And do your players, do y'all get like petty with it, like, oh, don't pass to such and such because we don't fuck with him?
Nah, I'm trying to win. Like
that's our generation.
I've seen people do that. Kids do that, like they won't touch the ball or they won't because the team ain't really rocking with them at that time, so they'll be like petty with it, like, nah, don't pass such and such the ball, bro. We ain't rocking with him right now. Y'all don't do that.
We heard it. We were like, what in the Mean Girls that's going on here?
Yeah, that kind of took me by surprise, but I was like, okay.
Javon do that. He know I'll get up on him about that.
Yeah, and that's what it comes to.
I be telling him, man, like, I know dude can't do much, but at least passing the ball if he's wide open. I don't care if he misses 6 shots.
Make the play.
And
make the play, because eventually he's going to make it, and, you know, he going to get it in rhythm, and, you know.
And he going to give it back to you. He's going to give the ball back to you. If he starts making shots, he's going to give it back. And we've seen that with MJ. MJ would pass it, you know, start getting
they'll expect it back.
Second grader shots and West shots, and if MJ and another point guard both want the ball, that second grader would be like, oh,
I remember one of the parents.
Yeah, because I got it from him.
That the kid came up and told her son came up to him that he enjoys playing with Javon because he gets him involved.
Exactly.
And he can't dribble nothing, but he likes playing with Javon because Javon gets him involved.
Yeah.
No, that's what it's about.
I feel like the parents are in their kid's ear and they're like, don't pass it to Sutton.
Yeah, you can't be like that.
You're better than blah blah blah. So go ahead and show them you're better than them. You know, I feel like a lot of parents get into their kids' ear into where it just takes all the fun out the game. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the politics were big. I wanted to bring that up because I seen that they were traveling. Fourth grade team was traveling from out of Albuquerque, fourth grade. And I got offended by that because I consider, and not only me, but I consider MJ to be one of the best fourth graders out here, period. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And for him not to get that call or that, you know, that, hey, man, we're starting a fourth grade team, we want to travel, not for us to get no involvement in that was, to me, on some hating shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, in all reality, there was no reason for my son not to get that. And I sound like a bitter parent, but I don't care because I'm going to keep it 100. So if I feel that way, like, I just feel like even if, hey, try out for it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm seeing some kids without the skill development out there on this team. And I'm like, wow. So that's what y'all rather not my son outshine who you got on your team, but pull some kids with the lesser skill development. So your son can shine. You know what I'm saying? That's the way I felt.
And it's not like they didn't have our contact because we've texted.
So
we played on the same team. So
I just feel like that was like kind of like on some hating stuff, you know. But
like, I mean, the proof them button.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and I didn't dub him, you know, one of the best out here. That's other people saying he's one of the best fourth graders out here. You know what I'm saying?
I heard a lot of people say that.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, I'm his dad. I'm gonna think he's dope regardless. You know what I'm saying? I'm his parent. Of course, we all think our kids are the best ones, or, you know, they're good at what they do. But my son's actually done the work to back that up. You know what I'm saying? To prove that. So when I seen that, I was like, wow, okay, that now you know where you stand with them. You know what I'm saying? Now you know where you at. But it's all good. So I just wanted to get that out there.
And I had to calm down more because I was really offended because, like, why would you take that national, like, you know that your circuit's the national circuit. Now, you just took that away from a kid for what? Because he might outshine someone? He might, you know what I mean? Like, what was the point in that? Like, that he's in 4th grade. We ain't never shied from competition at all. MJ goes against who he goes with. He plays against who he plays with. 6th grade, 3rd grade, they line up. That's what it is. So I was super offended in the fact that not only that you took that opportunity, but how do you expect your son to be the best if he's not playing against the best? I think
that's what started the whole conversation. Really, is that's why New Mexico sports is where it's at.
Yeah, that's where we back to.
I think somebody from Texas, New York, Philly, somewhere like them big states, they would have.
You get the best of the best.
Yeah, you take the best players.
You get the best of the best
to win.
Exactly.
Not so. But my son can shine.
That's
in a loss.
That's why we get murdered when we go to other states and we go in these tournaments. That's why we get rocked and we get murdered on the courts and the fields because everyone has that ego. No, not him because he gonna take playing time from such and such and then no, you get the best of the best and y'all go out there and y'all go shut it down that way. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't got the best on your squad, then you ain't doing nothing. You ain't doing nothing. You just out there just to show that you can be out there. That's it. You ain't trying to catch no dubs. I know that, but it is what it is. Like I said, we about out of time here, man. If you got anything to add, Javon, you got anything you want to say? You want to shout out? What's your Instagram? Get your follow game up. Do you know your Instagram?
It's like Javon _. I don't know.
Oh my goodness.
Bradford _ or something like that.
Okay, well follow my nephew, man. He's one of the dopest hoopers out in New Mexico also, man. Follow his journey, see what he's doing, see what he's about. And man, show him some love on there.
And I want one last thing to say.
Yeah.
I want to say if that 4th grade team, I'm sure you know who you are, want to come compete with some real 4th graders, come get some work. Jamal, set that up.
Shots fired. Me.
Set that up, Jamal. We've been working.
Make some noise for wifey. She ain't playing around. Shots fired. You want that work? Come get it. You heard her. Blue, you got anything? You want to add?
Oh man, I think we said it all.
Cool, man.
On the table.
Hey, I appreciate y'all coming through, man, and kicking it with your boy 8-4 on 8 for the hour, man. It's been a pleasure. I hope we got some things across. I hope we touched on what we wanted to touch on. Thank my beautiful co-host Rachel Bradford again, and man, we out.
Thanks, guys.